Alikumara pola munajinka ngole bunyata. Qur'anu bajita kila kangarabola. Alikumara bola munajinka ngole bunyata. Qur'anu bajita kila kangarabola.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وسلم تسليما كثيرا. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and welcome to this weekly Arabic lessons. In this episode on page 12, الدرس الثاني, second lesson. الدرس الثاني, second lesson. In our previous lessons, we learned about هذا. هذا means this is, or this. هذا means this. The word هذا we have learned has three conditions. The first condition of هذا, the thing you are demonstrating at, should be mufrad, it should be singular. Should be mufrad, it should be singular. The second condition of هذا is mudhakkar. The thing you are demonstrating should be mudhakkar, it should be masculine. The third and final condition of هذا is qarib. The thing you are pointing at should be near, should be close to you. So in this episode today, we will learn about ذَلِكَ. This is also a very common word in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the Quran, and also you'll find it in the Sunnah, in the ahadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, the narrations of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and in all Arabic languages, Arabic sentences. ذَلِكَ, it is one of the words Allah used when He opens Surah Al-Baqarah, ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابِ. So in this episode, we will learn about ذَلِكَ and the conditions of ذَلِكَ. ذَلِكَ, it is also a demonstrative noun. ذَلِكَ means that. The word ذَلِكَ means that. So it has three conditions, but before we come to the conditions, the dha is what we call ismul ishara. The dha in dhalika, the dha is ismul ishara. And the lam in dhalika is what we call lamul ba'd, the lam of distance, lamul ba'd, the lam of distance, which means dhalika can only be used for distance things. So lam in dhalika is what we call lamul ba'd, and students are asked or encouraged to memorize these terminologies in Arabic language. And the kaf in dhalika is what we call harful khitab. Harful khitab, the particle for addressing people. That's why sometimes you have dhalikuma, dhalikum, tilka, you have ulaika. All these are demonstrative nouns. But dhalika, the dha is what we call ismul ishara, and ismul ishara means a demonstrative noun. So that particular dha stands in the place of ismul ishara. The lam is lamul ba'd, the lam of distance. And then the kaf, the kaf is what we call harful khitab, the harf of addressing people. That's why dhaliki, dhalikuma, dhalikum, dhalika, it depends on the person you are addressing. So dhalika has three conditions. The first condition is the same as the condition of hadha, and that is it has to be mufrad. The thing you are pointing at has to be singular. It has to be mufrad. And the second condition is the thing you are pointing at has to be mudhakkar. It has to be masculine. And the third condition is ba'id. It has to be far away from you. it has to be far from the speaker. So this is the only difference. The conditions of هذا are 3 and the conditions of ذلك are 3. So the only difference among these two conditions, among the conditions of these two nouns, demonstrative nouns, is the distance one, and that is بعيد and then قريب. So the conditions of هذا are 3. It has to be mufrad, it has to be مذكر, and it has to be قريب. The conditions of ذلك are also 3. 1, it has to be mufrad. 2, it has to be مذكر. And 3rd one, it has to be بعيد, it has to be far from the mutakallim. So we have already defined what ذلك means, which means that. And the ذا اسم الإشارة, the لام البعد, and the kaf is حرف الخطاب. The first example we have here, or the first question, is ما ذلك? What is that? ما ذلك? What is that? The jawab, the response is ذلك نجم. That is a star. ذلك نجم. That is a star. So ذلك, it is an example of جملة اسمية, an example of a nominal sentence. وهي كل جملة أولها اسم. It is any sentence that begins with a noun. وهي مركبة من مبتدأ وخبر. It is composed of مبتدأ and خبر, the subject and the predicate. مبتدأ is the subject, خبر is the predicate, is the one giving you information about the مبتدأ. So ذلك نجم, that is a star. It is an example of جملة الاسمية, nominal sentence, and مبتدأ is ذلك, and نجم is the خبر. It is the predicate. هذا مسجد. This is a mosque. هذا مسجد. This is a mosque. وذلك بيت. And that is a house. وذلك بيت. And that is a house. This wow is what we call حرف العطف, or واو العطف, is what we call واو العطف. The wow is the wow of connecting two sentences. So it is important to know that as well. So هذا مسجد and وذلك بيت, there are two examples of جملة الاسمية. هذا is the مبتدا, مسجد is the خبر, and ذلك is also another مبتدا, and then بيت is the خبر. We have هذا حصان. This is a horse. وذلك حمار. And that is a donkey. Both of them are examples of جملة اسمية, which is composed of مبتدا and خبر. هذا is the مبتدا, حصان is the خبر. It is the predicate. مبتدا means the subject, خبر is the predicate. Wow here is what we call واو العطف, or حرف العطف. It is what is called حرف العطف, is the harf for connecting two sentences. And then وذلك, the ذلك is also the مبتدا, and then we have حمار, it is the خبر, it is the predicate. ذلك كلب, is that a dog? ذلك كلب, is that a dog? لا, ذلك قط. No, that is a cat. لا, ذلك قط. No, that is a cat. So لا is لا النافية. As we learned in our previous lessons, there are two types of لا. We have لا الناهية, the law of prohibition, the law of prohibition, and لا النافية, the law of negation. لا تذهب, it is an example of لا الناهية, the law of prohibition. Don't go. لا تذهب, don't go. لا تخرج, don't go out. لا تأكل, don't eat. All these are examples of la an-nahiya, the law of prohibition. We have law of negation, like la ilaha illallah, la yamassuhu illa al-mutahharun. An example of this in this sentence, la dhalika qittun. No, that is a cat. So that la is what we call la an-nafiya. And then dhalika is the mubtada, it is the subject of the sentence. Qittun is the khabar, it is the predicate of the sentence. Ma dhalika, what is that? Ma dhalika, what is that? Dhalika sarirun, that is a bed. Dhalika sarirun, that is a bed. Man hadha, who is this? Man hadha, who is this? The jawab, or before the jawab, we have waman dhalika. Man hadha, who is this? Waman dhalika, and who is that? Waman dhalika, and who is that? The jawab, the response is hadha mudarrisun. This is a teacher. Hadha mudarrisun. This is a teacher. وذلك إمام, and that is an imam. وذلك إمام, and that is an imam, a leader. So هذا مدرس and ذلك إمام. These two examples are examples of jumlatul ismiyya, are examples of the nominal sentence. We have two types of sentences in Arabic language. Al-jumlatul ismiyya, the nominal sentence, wal-jumlatul fi'liyya, and the verbal sentence. The nominal sentence is composed of mubtada and khabar, the subject and the predicate. The verbal sentence is composed of fi'lun, the verb, and fa'ilun, the doer of the action. So هذا مدرس and ذلك إمام, they are all examples of jumlatun ismiyatun. هذا is the mubtada, mudarrisun is the khabar. The waw is what we call harful atfi. Some call it wawul atfi. And dhalika is the mubtada and imamun is the khabar. Ma dhalika, what is that? Ma dhalika, what is that? Dhalika hajarun, that is a stone. Dhalika hajarun, that is a stone. Dhalika is the mubtada, hajarun is the khabar. And finally, we have هذا سكر. This is a sugar. هذا سكر. This is a sugar. وذلك لبن. And that is a milk. وذلك لبن. And that is a milk. Usually labanun means sour milk. Labanun means sour milk. So these types of sentences, these two types of sentences are all jumlatul ismiyya. Each one of them is regarded as the nominal sentence. It's regarded as a nominal sentence, jumlatun ismiyya. وهي مركبة من مبتدأ وخبر. Jumlatul ismiyya, it is composed of mubtada and khabar. Mubtada the subject and khabar the predicate. So هذا is the mubtada, سكر is the khabar, it is the predicate. Waw is harful atfi or wawul atfi. Anyone you say is right. And ذلك is the mubtada, labanun is the khabar. Inshallah, we'll stop here until our next episode. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us tawfiq in dunya and akhirah. Wa sallallahu ala nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in.
Ni ya safono ika sutese ala tento sariya wala londolu ye safenin arabola. Tafsiru tawhidu fiqhoni usululu nyunu bete koile mafoisa tarabola.